Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial on object-oriented programming in Java. So this tutorial will talk about the multiple inheritance with respect to the interface in the Java programming language. Please check out a previous tutorial video on the single inheritance, how the standard interface constructs, meaning the syntax and the semantics in the Java programming language is actually defined. The interface usually is inherited with the keyword called implements, meaning we implement all the methods which has been declared in the interface and give a body in the class after the inheritance after the interface is actually being inherited, which has those methods that will be implemented with the body, meaning the content in between the open and the close curly brace. So this tutorial video, the current one, is all about the multiple inheritance with respect to the interface in the Java programming language. So let's begin by creating a project. Let's call multi-inheritance. Okay, so this is so now with the main is actually now ready. So now let's create another package to hold the Java files. One is known as the inherit one. In the inherit one, we'll create a class called one interface. The first interface, let's create as first interface. Feel free to create the files with the necessary file names as you please. So just make sure that the file names, the package names is really meaningful. So first we are doing the interface type of programming, so we'll change the keyword called class to interface, and there is no real constructor for the interface. So interface will have the methods without the body. The body will come in the interface that has been inherited by the class. So this is the first interface. So what we can do, we'll just have a public method, returns nothing, so void. So we'll have a print message, printfi, being the first interface. So let's create another package. So we are talking about multiple inheritance in this tutorial video. So we have the first interface ready. Let's create another inheritance, inherit2. This is the package name called inherit2. In the inherit2, we'll create a class which is actually, it's not actually a class. Now the interface, the default as far as the Netbeans is concerned, it put a class. So the first inheritance, we go for second inheritance. So default is produces the class object with the keyword called class. So we'll change that to interface. So this is the second interface. The first interface is ready. So the second interface we just call the second interface. So now we have two packages, inherit2 and inherit1. In the inherit1 package we have first interface. In the inherit2 we have second interface. So just rename this not the inheritance interface. So we have the second inheritance and the first inheritance. In the first inheritance we have a method called printfi, and in the second interface we have a interface called method called printsi, meaning second interface. And this is, both are public, meaning it is visible to the entire project. So now let's create another package to inherit both the interfaces. So this will be a class. So inherit class. In the inherit class package, we create a class called inheritance. Let's say multi-inheritance. So we need a class to actually inherit the interface. So let's have a default constructor. It will obviously public, and it will have the name of the class with the empty body. So right now we don't have anything. So what we can do is how to inherit the interface with the keyword called implements. So first we'll inherit the first interface and then put a comma, go for second interface. So both has been imported, and this ID is showing in red color, meaning we have to implement all the abstract methods, all the methods from the interfaces we have just inherited. So we have printfi and printsi. So we'll remove the default contents what the ID has put. So we'll write our own contents. So we have inherited with the keyword called implements. The class, which is multi inheritance, is now inheriting two interfaces with the keyword called implements and the comma operator. This is multiple inheritance because this is more than one interface we are inheriting. So only the interfaces supports multiple inheritance, and the class inheritance supports only single inheritance in the Java programming language. But the interface just define the methods. There is no body for the methods. The body is done in the class, which actually implements the interfaces. So we have printfi and the printsi. So let's do some printing. This is from the first interface, from interface, which is the first interface. So we'll create the same thing in the second method we actually inherited from the second interface. So this is from the first interface, and the printsi is from the second interface. So we're just printing the string or the text to the command prompt. So this is just to demonstrate how to do multiple inheritance using the interface methodology in the Java programming language. And the methods has been overridden with the annotation called @override, both the printsi and printfi, because the default functions has been, or the methods has been declared in the specific interface files. So let's go to the main, and actually we go for creating the instance. Multiple inheritance, not the package. We have to use the function. So it's not the multi inheritance. So there is a conflict in the file names. So I'll rename this file to the main func. So it's not the main func, it is multi inheritance. Multi inheritance. So I'll just write the file name, so it will import automatically. So we have successfully imported inherit class package and multi-inheritance file, which is also happens to be the class name. So remember, in Java the class name or the interface name should be same as the file name. So we have multi-inheritance instance, so let's call multi-inheritance printfi. The IDE is taking some time to. Okay, so mi dot print second interface. So let's run the program. So we have the first printing function, the method that is being called by the multi-inheritance instance, and the second one is also printing the second inheritance. So we have successfully made the multi-inheritance instance in the main program, as well as we have successfully called the two methods coming from two interfaces. The first printfi is coming from first interface, and the second one, say, printsi, is coming from the second interface. We have multiple inheritance of the type interface. That's why we are using the keyword called implements. So what is the difference between interface and the class? The interface only has the skeleton, meaning the declaration of the function, and the class that actually inherits will provide the body for the methods. And we have an instance in the main, so we have to print functions with the methods that is being called, and the two methods is actually now printing the statements. So what is a method and a function? It is just the actual terminology in computer science is actually the function, but the method is the word called used. The word called method is being used to distinguish between the functions which actually resides inside the class. So the inside the class function is known as the method. This is just an information just I am providing for object-oriented people who are much more newer to the object-oriented constructs in the Java programming language. So in this tutorial video we successfully demonstrated multiple inheritance. So remember, multiple inheritance is only allowed in the interface inheritance hierarchy and not in the class inheritance hierarchy. In the class inheritance hierarchy, only one inheritance is allowed, single inheritance. If you want to inherit more than one, we have to take the interface path. So interface path supports multiple inheritance, but the interface will not have the body of the methods. It's just a declaration. So I think I come to the end of this tutorial video. So I will end this tutorial video here. Please stay tuned for the additional tutorial videos coming in the tutorial series Java object-oriented programming in Java. So thanks a lot. Please stay tuned for the additional videos. Okay, thanks a lot. Bye.